Hey, thanks for stopping by. The following video is me being frustrated over an event, a situation. I want to see what I look like when I'm angry. And then at the end of the video, I'll do some self-reflecting. Hey out there, happy Tuesday. I hope your week is going amazing. I'm over at this house in Keyport. I put an offer in on the house last week. I sent the realtor a couple emails. I left 2 voicemails for him. Nothing. The reason why I'm back is, let me see if you can see it. I don't know if you could see, but there's a bunch of white papers on the doors because it's a foreclosure. I'm hoping that one of those papers have a contact for me to call the seller directly and see if they got my offer. Someone out there might be saying, "Whoa, Harry, you got a bruised ego. The listing agent never got back to you. Maybe he just doesn't want to do business with you. You got your ego all kinds of bruised. Move on to the next house. Stop your complaining." That's a little bit of it, but that's not the whole reason. Let me show you an example, and then I'll get back to this house. Here's another house. This little brown house, 2-story right here. It's right around the corner from the other house. I put an offer in on that house back in 2017, that one right there. That house wasn't much to look at just now, right? It wasn't much to look at back in 2017, 8 years ago. However, they had it on the market for $129. They dropped it to $123, and then they dropped it to $109. Remember when you could get a house for $100,000 in Keyport? Crazy, right? I put an offer in at $98,000, so $11,000 below list price. I didn't have my real estate license at the time, and I was dealing with this realtor. Not that I'm that big of a fan of this particular realtor. Not that big of a fan of most realtors. Anyway, she submitted the offer. We didn't even get a response. I think my realtor was like, "Hey, that was really a low offer, $11,000 below the list price." Almost like that's what you should expect. Don't even get a response. There's not even any common decency out there. It's not even good business practice. Anyway, I'm ranting. So I put the offer in at $98,000. It was listed for $109. No response. I went out and I think I found a house in South Amboy. Got distracted. Then I got a Zillow update 2 months later saying that the house sold for $95,000. $3,000 below my offer. I called up the listing agent. I was like, "Hey, I put an offer in on that house at $98,000. Why didn't you just take my offer?" She said, "Oh, I didn't know." She did this whole roundabout thing, and I was like, that doesn't sound legit. However, if I sound paranoid on any other houses, that's why. I know I'm probably just crying over spilled milk. Maybe I am. But that house that I just showed you, that house that doesn't look like anything, in Keyport right now, Zillow gives it that's a hard one. Zillow gives it a zestimate of $428,000. So I missed out on that, huh? I said I missed out on that, and I did miss out on that house from 2017. If you just think about the numbers, Zillow says it's worth $428,000 right now. I forget. Just off the top of my head, I'm thinking it needed work, but if I would have got it for $98,000 and then put, I don't know, $40,000 in there, we're talking about $300,000 that I missed out on. So it is a big deal, right? Somebody didn't do their job back then. One of the realtors, the realtor that was representing me or the listing agent, one of them didn't do their job for me because I should have been able to get that house. And the seller. The seller didn't get the highest price that they could have got on the house. They missed out because of somebody not doing their job properly. I'm being really gentle here because my cynical mind goes a different direction. And it says, is there a possibility that a listing agent has their brother-in-law's cousin's uncle on the sidelines that's ready to buy a house under value, and they don't submit all the offers that they get to the seller? Is that a possibility? Oh, Harry, you are into conspiracy theories. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense, just if you think about it. I know we're talking not a lot of money back then, 2017, $3,000 more than the offer than they accepted. But I mean, if you're a listing agent, how many offers do you get in on a house? I don't know. Even if you get a lot, you probably save them, right? When you get an offer less than another offer that was presented to you, whether it was a month or two ago, you don't reach out to the other realtor or the prospective buyer and say, hey, listen, we'll take your offer. You still want the house. No, maybe I'm being cynical. You know, talking about cynical, this house right behind me, hold on. I'm sitting down in Union Beach. You see that house right there? That house right there? I'd have to look it up, but I think it was back around the same time. It's almost coincidental, like I think the world is against me. Right around that time, I went to the town of Union Beach because that house was for sale. And I got to tell you, it was in the low 100s. And I went to the township and I said, hey, I just want to make sure that everything's legit on the house. Is there any outstanding violations? I'm doing my due diligence before I put the offer in on the house. And they told me that house had to be lifted. So I never submitted an offer. That house didn't have to be lifted, and it's for sale right now. I think it's... I don't want to speak. I think it's for sale for like $600,000 or $700,000. So if you think I'm jaded about realtors, there's a couple examples. All right, back to this house in Keyport. So I've had these experiences over the years. I'm only giving you a few of the experiences I've had, which possibly twisted me a little bit. So I went over to the Brown house. I was able to see the lawyers that are handling the foreclosure for the Bank of Mellon. Now, I don't even know if I've ever heard of the Bank of Mellon except for when they foreclose on houses. Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started on banks. Now, I think another bank will buy the foreclosed property off of the mortgage holder, the bank that holds the mortgage, for pennies on the dollar. And they're the ones that you go to. Anyway, make a long story short, I am ranting. I'm sorry. I was able to see who foreclosed on it, Bank of Mellon, the lawyers that are handling the transaction, and the woman's managing partner's name. So I just left her a message, and I was nice, and I just said, hey, I put an offer in on this piece of property that you guys had foreclosed on. And I reached out to the listing agent that's on the paperwork quite a few times. 3 times to be exact. And I left him several voicemails and submitted an offer a week ago and never heard anything back. I was wondering if you could give me a call. I wanted to look back at the video, and I did. I want to see what I look like when I get pissed off. And I'm pretty pissed off about the whole situation. And I look pretty good on it. Like, I was keeping my cool in the video, right? Now I know that I'm videotaping myself, so does that mean like I lose it when I'm not on video? And no. Matter of fact, so Diane and I have a blended family. Diane has 2 boys, which are my stepsons. Love them to death. And then I have a daughter. So we have a blended family. And after we were together so we've been married for 13 years. And after we were together probably, 7 years or so, we were having dinner together. They're grown and the boys are out of the house right now. But we were having dinner together, and my oldest stepson, John, I said something. We were all talking about our days, and I said something about getting mad that day at a situation or a person. And my stepson said to me, he snickered. And I said, what are you snickering about? And he said, I can't imagine you getting angry. And it wasn't, he didn't say it sarcastically, he meant it. I can't imagine you getting angry. And that has stuck in my head. Like, that might be one of the best compliments I've ever received. Like, he can't picture me getting angry. It wasn't always like that. I was always angry at one time. And now I gotta remember to have gratitude. Did you see how I did that? It was like special effects gratitude. When I get pissed off at a situation or frustrated or angry, I try to remember. I don't always do it perfectly, but I try to remember that there was a time in my life when things were not so good. I have a blessed life with a beautiful family. I got healthy friends and good relationships and everything else. So when I come across a situation like I just showed you this video, like, I guess it's okay to get angry, and I hold it together. Sometimes I question, am I going to have an off switch? Am I going to want to hit somebody with a cannon when they hit me with a fly swatter? I don't always know after all this time. But I got to give myself some credit. And I guess the reason why I'm saying this is because if you're watching this and you feel the same way about anger, like maybe it's not okay to get angry. I think everybody gets angry. It's just what we do with it, and then how we reel it back in. And then I heard the saying one time, like if you're angry or something like that and you're coming home, then leave it outside the house. You can always pick it up when you leave. So I hope you enjoyed the video.